Good morning, my good people. Happy Sunday morning, the day after Valentine's. For you lovely ladies who did not get any Valentine's, belated Valentine's to you. I'm DJ Mauricio, share the live. Celebrating a birthday today. And I got up this morning and I say, you know what? Today is the day that my sister over there in the UK, Sylvia, passed last year. So we are not just celebrating a birthday for the DJ, which I'm not celebrating. It's not much to celebrate. But I'm just thanking God for giving me the opportunity to rise and be here with the living, the chosen few. I'm happy to be part of the chosen. So what I've decided to do this morning is that since December 24th, 2025, Christmas Eve, I came down to the Hilden area here by the Ramada Hotel and tried to get access to the beach, and successfully was intercepted by a young lady by the name of Julia and 2 dogs and a gentleman. So I said, you know what? The DJ gonna try and visit this beach today for his birthday. So this is the DJ's birthday gift to himself. I'm gonna try and see if I can make it down to the Hilden area in St. Paul's, right next to the Ramada. So I'm going to pan the camera around and take you on the journey. I invite you to join me and share the life. Yeah, so here we go. We are here at the Ramada and we are about to enter the road here, the public road, to the beach here at Hilden's. So this is the public road. I am on the public road. I choose this morning to drive instead of walking because I know now that there's dogs in the area here to intercept the DJ. So to avoid any further unnecessary hardship, the DJ decided to drive this morning. And I'm here on the public road, heading down the Hilden path. So let's see if the DJ can make it down to the beach this morning for his birthday. February 15, 2026. The struggle continues in St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes, the struggle continues because we have this corrupt politician that we elected there. The Dr. Juled Labour administration definitely is the problem, and they got to go. We had a big campaign in 22 where we say get rid of them. We did get rid of them, but instead of better, it's worse. So my good people, the DJ won't stop relent until such time as they either change their direction or we get rid of them out of office. So as I continue down the road here, so far I am driving. I have not seen those dogs as yet, but I'm still trying to find the road to the beach. I have 2 options here of the roads. There's a road go left and there's a road to the right. So let me try the road to the left and see if that road will take me to the beach. If anyone online who remembered where I turned back on Christmas Eve, it would have been in this area I turned back because there was dogs down here as well. So as I continue on the pathway down to the beach, so far I have not seen any dogs on the road. I don't know if it's because I'm not walking But thus far, I have not seen any dog. If you look straight ahead there, that's the island of Statia. Center Statia, as they would call it. I guess I'm speaking too early because to my right here, I see some dogs, and that's the road I'm going to see if that's the road to the beach. Yes, there's some dogs in the area here, but I do not know if this is a dead end. So I'm trying to see if this is a dead end I'm entering here. It appears as though that this is a dead end. Yeah. It appears as though down here is where they have some residential area. Excuse me, good morning. Excuse me, good morning. I'm trying to get to the beach. Which road take me to the beach? You know which road take me to the beach? Well, I'm getting a wave, but I'm not getting any answers, no communication from the Chinese here. But that seems to be a dead end. Seems to be a camp style setup here. Appears to be those guys that are building the prison. This is where they're staying. Camp style living here they have here. Yeah, so it appears as though that yes, I'm trying to get to the beach. The next way? To the beach? Okay, thanks. So there is one guy here who is willing to help me out. He points to me to go to the next way, the next road to get to the beach. So I am going to push back here and try the next way and see if I make it to the beach. My good people. So like I said, come with me. Let's see if we find this beach today. I am yet to hear from our representative in the area here, Dr. Denzel Douglas, who was the one responsible for this project down here in the Hilden area. I'm yet to hear from him, even though I know he's aware of the situation with the access to the beach. I'm yet to hear from Joel Clark, the senator. These folks are getting a big salary. A very big salary. So I don't understand why they expect to collect a salary on behalf of the people, but yet not representing the people. They're representing foreign entity. But they're just gonna keep trying these roads and see which one takes me to the beach. So the gentleman said this way. So let me try this way. This also seems to be a dead end here. As you can see, no access to the beach from this end either. So definitely there's no access to the beach from this end either. So you see like the areas here is completely occupied with these folks. I'm gonna push back here and I'm going to try another area and see if there's any access to the beach. But as of this moment, there's no luck with any access to the beach. Our beach here in the Hilden area. So I'm gonna push back here and I'm going to try this area. I don't think there's any access to the beach from this road either. So let's see how far this road takes me. Again, this is a dead end. There is no access to the beach from this area. This area setup seems to be a fuel station. Seems to be a fuel station. It appears that they're cutting a new road here. There is an excavator in the area here. As you can see over there, there's like a camp out. This looks like Little Saigon. There's an excavator there, but no access to the beach, my good people. I'm gonna try another road. It appears as though the beach is blocked off for private access, as they would say back in the US. It seems to be a gated area now. Seems to be all gated. The area here seems to be all gated. No access whatsoever to the beach. So let me try one final area where might be able to get to the beach. Dr. Douglas, we got to talk, you know. We got to talk. This is unacceptable. Sister Joy Clark, you know I love you, but we have to talk. You guys cannot get paid for jumping on a plane week after week after week and not taking care of the area that you grew up and campaign to represent. This is the only road that basically look accessible to the beach. And if I cannot get to the beach from this angle, then it is fair to say that there's no beach access. No beach access whatsoever. The whole place down here is all taken over by these people, my good people. As you can see, no beach access. This area is Little Saigon. Beach access is completely no more. Gone. My good people. So, I'm very disappointed. Very, very disappointed that the beach here is totally blocked off. Camp styles housing down here for those individuals that are building the prison. No access to the beach. No access to the beach. My good people, there is an election looming over St. Kitts. Any day now. Any day now, there's an election looming. And we must put a stop to this. Cannot continue this way. It just cannot continue this way. Big guy, no access to the beach, cannot get to the beach. I don't see. I see that you cannot here. I went all the way around, it's blocked off, there's no access. No access. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, the gentleman is directing me to go around the next road. The next road is blocked off. There's an excavator there. Whatever the excavator was doing, there's no access to the beach, my good people. Sorry to inform you that there is no access to the beach on this end. So we definitely have to have that conversation with the government. The representative for the area, Dr. Douglas, need to spend some time in St. Paul's if you're representing the people. You cannot be spending 10 months out of the year in Dubai. And we cannot see you in St. Paul's. I saw you about a week or two ago for, I actually was out of town, so I saw you on YouTube making an address at Mrs. King's funeral in Depe. It's like you're only coming for funerals and to make appearances to give impression that you are here, but you're not here. My good people, I'm heading back out. There's no access to the beach here in the Hilden area. No access, zero access to the beach in Hilden here. So very disappointed. Very, very, very disappointed. Doggy, I know talking to you might be a waste of time, but I'm going to have to talk to you still. I'm going to make some time. You don't make the time, no problem. The voters will make the time at the appropriate time to make sure that they have proper representation. Because neither you nor Joel is representing the people in this area here. Entire beach disappear right under our nose. My good people. Yep. I didn't see the security today, so I do not know the security not working today. Can't even ask a question about this beach. My good people. There's the one or two Chinese down there, like I said, those are the guys that work at the prison project. That's where they're staying. So they don't speak English, or they pretend they don't speak English, whatever it is. So I'm going to take a check here at the next entrance here for another beach in the area. I know there's a development going on there. They call it the Buddson Estate, former Buddson Estate. That should be a beach as well and should be accessible by the citizens as well. So since I'm here, I'm going to check in at the Buddson Estate and see if the citizens have access to that beach. But my good people in St. Kitts neighbors, for those of you over there in the diaspora, so this is, I'm going to give a quick view of the closed Ramada since I'm coming in this direction. Any of you in the diaspora that have been passive government and economic citizens have outnumbered us. Our population, according to the Prime Minister, is somewhere in the 53,000. But economic citizens who can change the dynamic of electorate here in St. Kitts easily. So I am here at Buddson Estate. They call it the village at Buddson. And I see that there's a gate here as well. So let me get out and see if I have access to this beach. Let me see if I have access to this beach, because this thing is sickening. This thing is really sickening. Really, really sickening. So we're here at Buddson Estate. This is another well-known area here. This area is between St. Paul's and Newton Ground, for those of you who are familiar with the area. And they're trying to put a gated area here in a smart way, but we're going to keep our eyes on it. Yes, ma'am. What's up, doctor? What's up, doctor? So this is another gated area they're trying to build here under our nose at Buddson Estate. I know I heard someone say there's a lock here and they lock the gate at night and open it in the morning. So it appears as though it's open. So let's take a drive down to the beach, see if we can get access to this beach, my good people. I'm taking you with me, Buddson Estate. Yep, as we get closer to the beach area, we got Statia straight ahead. To the right of Statia, you got Sabre and St. Martin, and a lovely day you can see the islands. At night you can see vehicles running on those islands. That is how close we are to Statia, St. Martin, St. Bart, Sabre. You know, so my good people, it's a sad day in St. Kitts for what has happened under this Labour administration. Started with Dr. Douglas with his nonsense down here. Continue under this drilled Labour administration. So I'm going to utilize the road to the best that I can, as far as I can get here, to see if there is beach access. But we got a fishing community here in the Capistia area. But it appears as well that the individuals in this organization, they themselves are afraid of repercussion, because they too should be of more concern to what's going on with these beaches that has been taken away. So this is the end of this road here. So no access to the beach, as you can see from this end. So let me try the other angle and see if there is beach access. Mind you, all of these areas is areas that my grandfather bought me back in the days. My grandfather and my uncle were fishermen. So we make a livelihood and a living from coming in these areas to catch sprat and fish and lobsters and those stuff. And right on this estate, we had some family living here. We got people like King and Tintin and the Geralds and them down here. Back in the days, I used to enjoy coming here on a Sunday morning with my grandfather to visit and get fruits from the fruit trees and get to the beach and stuff like that. It appears as though that this opportunity is no more. So, on another road here, let's see if I can get to the beach from this road. Yep. The struggle is real, my good people. The struggle is real. The struggle is real in St. Kitts Nevis. The struggle is real. Yeah. There's an off-road here. I realize that there's a car park. There's a car park here. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do likewise. I will park here and walk down that road straight ahead and see what I find down there. It may not be much, but I'm going to take a walk down this road. Yes, my good people. We got some serious problem here in St. Kitts Nevis. Serious problem. We have to take back our country. We have to take it back from these corrupt politicians. They promise better. But what is the better? What is the better? Better ways of corruption, and they serve to do their corruption. Now it's done openly. Openly. If you check the recent parliament they had there, you see them dress up in their gabs, the tailor-made African suits. Yes, my good people, my apologies about that, my apologies. I walked away from the vehicle, leaving my hotspot in the vehicle, so lost connection there for a bit. I am back, and I'm going to try walk down the road here to the beach. Like I was just saying, they're so brazen these days, as they would say, that once ago politicians used to hide to do their corruption. But the politician of the day, they realize that their supporters, their loyal supporters, accept the corruption openly, as long as they get their share. So these days, their masters, the advisors, foreign advisors, they provide them now with the gabs. You see them in Parliament recently. Yeah, I just lost connection there, even though I have my hotspot in my hand. So, as I was saying, these politicians of the day, they are so brave that they commit their corruption in wide open view, because they know they have the support of their loyalists, supporters, and you see them in. Yeah, my good people, I made it to the beach, and as you can see, there's a gentleman out there. The boobies are flying around, so they're spotting the area. So this is what my grandfather did back in the days. We came down here to the Buddson Estate or to the Buddson Estate, and as they wait patiently and look to see where the booby is dipping, once the booby dip, you know that they're spotting the area there. So the gentleman here is doing his thing, he is looking to see, and here he gets ready, and there it goes. There it goes. He make a throw. Let's see if he catch anything. Yes. Yes, you got a few, man. You caught a few. Sprat. Nice. So the gentleman caught a few sprats there. If I come down any further, I'm losing signal. You can bring the bucket, let me show the folks what you catch. Okay. Just a quick look. So that's what the gentleman caught. There's some sprat. You got to throw water on them because you want to keep them alive.
Yeah, I want to fish in with them.
Oh, you're going to fish it with them?
Some gas.
All right, they're going to catch some gar. Okay. Yeah, so that's one of our local fishermen there who catching sprat for bait. So he just make a throw there and caught some sprat. Like I said, my good people, the seashore here is deteriorating. Need some assistance to keep these lands from receding back to the sea. As you can see, these politicians not paying attention to the livelihood of the people. And as I speak about the climate change, there are areas that are developed like the Port Zante, where they take in those ocean and those waters, put down buildings. The water have to find some place to go. So naturally, areas like this pay the price. So you find when water is rough, when there's storm, the water come and eat up the area here. So this is the Buddson section. Coconut trees, we used to come and get our coconuts as well. You know, the area is deteriorating, needs some attention. We have a, what you call a capisteer fishing corp here in the area. And I have to speak to them. I do not know what they're doing to make sure that we sustain these fishing grounds and these beaches. Because, my good people, they're talking about sustainable. This is sustainability. We're not a fisher folks can get up in the morning and come down to the beach, catch a few sprat or yellowbill for bait, to go and get some bigger fish like gars and cobblers and other fish that bite. So I'm heading back up the road. I think I accomplished my mission to see the status of access to the beach here in the... Yes, my good people. As I was saying, I'm heading back out of the area here. I think I was successful. You all ever heard about kasha? These are kasha prickle trees. So when you hear the terminology, monkey know which tree to jump on. Because monkey not going to jump on kasha tree. Kasha tree going to choke them up. Well, when I jump on the DJ going to come like a kasha tree for you, you know. Because the DJ only bringing good things. Awareness to the people. For those of you who want to live in a community and don't care what's happening in your community, it will soon become a time where you don't have no access to anything in your community. Those Chinese over there, they were mad. They're living well. They're cooking up their dumpling and thing just now. Many people in St. Kitts Nevis don't have a thing to cook this morning. But the Chinese sure have something to cook because of them needing the flour. So, my good people, if nothing else, I think I accomplished my mission for today. I was able to verify that there's no access to the beach down at the Hilden area there by the Wamada. I was able to verify that there's still an access road here at the Buddson area, even though it's gated. And we need to have some conversation on that, because these beaches must be accessible 24/7 by all residents, nationals, and visitors alike. So I think I will dedicate my time here on the island to try and see what beaches on the island that are not accessible, and we need to really step it up. My coalition would have to work in conjunction with whichever responsible departments to ensure that we live up to and enforce the law of the land, where access to beaches throughout the islands of St. Kitts and Nevis are a must. So it was not a bad visit. I'm just disappointed to know that there's absolutely no access to the beach down there at Hilden by the Ramada. That is very disappointing to me. So Dr. Douglas have some explaining to do. Gerald Clark have some explaining to do. Those roads must be reopened. As I said, I see the excavator down there where the road access should be. The road is closed. So they're definitely gonna have to open back the road. As we look straight ahead, we can see that the old sugar mill here from the Buddson Estate to your right, that's an old sugar mill. For those of you who worked back in the days in the sugar industry or your family, yeah, that's where they grind the sugar and thing. And then to the left, there's two sample homes here that they intend to construct in this gated community here. Those are just sample homes of what the options are. I think there's a 1 bedroom and a 2 bedroom. But whatever the intentions, we cannot settle for these gated communities taking over our beaches. Whether it may be Marriott, Park Hyatt, Carambola, it doesn't matter who it is. We have to ensure that our sovereignty is respected. So as I come to the end of my little escapade, as I will call it today, let me close this gate and get out of here. My good people, let me close back the people gate, that they cannot say the DJ opened the gate and left it open. But this gate needs to go as well. The beaches must be accessible 24/7. Must be accessible by all. So, Brother Zini, we gotta talk. I put your stuff back on your gate. So, the DJ is heading back to base, back to his bunker. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going back to my bunker. I'm heading to Tabernacle by my boy there, Romeo Paris. He invited me to our little breakfast there at his place where he's hosting the Carlton A1 Domino team visiting from Barbados. They had a lovely arrival, a lovely cocktail sip there on Friday evening. So this is the closed Ramada Hotel here, as you are aware. Failed CBI project. This one started under Denzel Douglas. 20 years of failure in this area and still expect to run for office, and people still support his nonsense. I guess they don't have any pride. Don't care about their life, because Denzel's living up life in Dubai and in the Middle East and every place else, while he leave this area here to go to ruins. As a matter of fact, let me keep the camera on as we head from here to St. Paul's, and you can see the house that Denzel supposed to be living in that is, I call it abandoned. Because he don't live there. If you go there once a month, twice a year, he go there a lot. So let's take a roll. This is how they look. This is how they roll. So like I was saying, I'm gonna be heading to Taba by my boy there, Brother Romeo, for a little breakfast with the Bajan team there. The Bajan bunch of good domino players, great domino players. Their style of domino is a little different to us here in St. Kitts, Nevis, but nevertheless, it's a competitive sport and competitive games. The Chinese have their own rules, the Jamaicans have their rules, the British and Antiguans, whatever, have their rules. So I just want to say enough respect to the Bajan them for coming in and choosing St. Kitts Nevis as one of their destination of visit. So right here we're gonna be entering St. Paul's. That's the St. Paul's Anglican Church up the hill there. That's where my brother and mother and the entire family is buried. This property here is a property that I grew up in, the Connors. Yeah, that's where Auntie Millie and them grew up there. So as we enter St. Paul's, we have here to the left the sign that says welcome to St. Paul's. So this is the village of St. Paul's, St. Kitts. You got on the left here the cricket stadium. Then we got a lovely young lady here who made it to the West Indies. She went to Malaysia there sometime, I think last year, with the West Indies Under-19 Female Cricket World Cup. Proud to have representative from our area at that level. Want to big up Sister Angela Weeks and her son. That's Angela's granddaughter. So we're here in St. Paul's. To the left here is the football stadium. To your right here, you have an area where they call it the Butcher Park. Robert Llewellyn Butcher, first Premier of St. Kitts and Nevis. Just straight as you see a blue building, that's a police station that been closed for some time. Yep. And for those of you who are not familiar with the AG upbringing, you see that area there? You see that building? It's upgraded down. But that used to be the residence of the AG's grandmother and his mother. This is where they grew up, right here in St. Paul's at that clinic, before he migrated.
What you doing, man?
Yeah, man. Thanks. This is where he originated from. But today he's too big for St. Paul's. And this green building is where the actual clinic was, where she worked. Nurse Williams, that's God's grandmother. Now it's used for the Whitegate office, for the Whitegate development. Yeah, like I said, people in the Federation, they appreciate what I am doing, bringing the information. That's a former police officer there that just pulled up and telling me they appreciate what I'm doing and they want me to continue doing it. So people just afraid to speak out. This is the old Baptist church here, now taken over by the Africans. A lot of stuff that was local now gone foreign, even the church. So we're going around the corner. And I'm going to show you the bridge where they were fighting over with colors back in the last election. They painted all kind of color. Orange, red, orange, red. They had more paint to paint than anything else. But now that the election is over, they can't find paint to give the people. I think you guys heard me spoke about this before. You see this cut side here? Look at it good. The gentleman I spoke about that his mother have to bring him up and down this hill on his back because he was born disabled, cannot walk, and his mother have to track him up and down. A big grown man working at the JNF. His mother have to track him up and down this cut on her back. That's the house over there. So this is the bridge. the big bridge that they're painting back and forth. Right? Let me signal these vehicles at the pass so that I could give you a good story. Yeah. Yeah, people knows you all, they're gonna stop and want to know what's going on. But the DJ gonna bring the story. The DJ will bring the story. So, it seems as though since 2022 election, they have not painted this thing over because you can see how it look. They say vote Labour. So that's the house there that the young lady have to bring the gentleman and his back from a grown man. And she complained how she having back pain from lifting him up and her back every day, twice a day. To bring him up to go to work and to take him down after work. So this is the bridge they were fighting, they were painting red and orange, red and orange. And that's what they have here. The Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, a leader who always deliver. What he deliver? What he deliver? Pain? This is what they have on the wall. They haven't seen Douglas for months. He just come in for funerals and whatever. Huh? Look at the area. Yeah. Look at the area. Yes, I. So they did just showing the St. Paul's. You know, this is St. Paul. This used to be a quetch down here. The Francis is. Mr. John, how are you doing?
I'm good, just fine, all right.
Good. So, this is the St. Paul's village. This is the constituency 6. Constituency 6. You guys might hear me talk about the Banger and Bar, that green little section there, that's the Banger and Bar there. So, the old water dam where we catch water, that's what that is. Yeah, man, so as we continue, so straight ahead here, this is one of the many properties that owned by Dr. Douglas, and this way his constituency office is in St. Paul's. This is one of his many buildings. So they come here when it's time to campaign. Yeah, it's one of the churches in the village. Oi! And now this is where Dr. Douglas grew up. This is where he was born. It was an old wooden house, an old hookup house. Now this is what it is now. But you think he come here? You think he come here? He say he's simply the best. The best at what? The best at corruption? They say Labour sweet. How Labour could be sweet and the people crying in the village so much? These are the gimmicks that they put on people. So my good people, as I'm about to exit the village, I'm going to shut the live down. It's so much disappointment, and you have the 1 or 2 folks who are die-hard Labour supporters that you can't stop them from drinking the Kool-Aid. They're going to be upset when you speak truth to power. But the bottom line is that we have to call it for what it is. So another high spot, a high point in St. Kitts is, this is the Whitegate area. When you hear them speak about Whitegate with all those accidents and stuff, it's a straight road. So let me leave the video on because I don't understand how people will have accidents on a straight road like this. Straight road, you can see straight ahead what's coming. Some time ago there is this young man from Sandy Point that got killed on a bike. They said by a police officer, accident, whatever. You know. And there's some trees on here that have cost a few people their life because I do not know how people could be speeding. These trees don't move, you know. So how could you be on a straight road like this and end up running into a tree and take your own life? As you can see, all of this is the White Gate project. This is where Douglas is talking about his nonsense about special sustainability zone. But tell him we're waiting. Let him come. Let him come with that nonsense. Because these lands are for locals. These lands are for businesses, for locals. The foreign investors come, let them lease the land. Let them set up the land. Because everybody have to die leave these lands. So ownership of land, I don't know why they want all of these lands. They want to own it, they're going to die and leave it. So why not just invest in it and let it continue? You know, bad decision, poor decision by our leaders, our corrupt leaders. Yes, all of this is White Gate. This is what they want to take away from us. Straight road. Just 1 or 2 curves. If you look in the far over there, you see that's the reef over there. But this is straight road. This right there, that young lady died last year, I think, or 2 years ago. Accident as well. As we look at the bus coming up the hill ahead, that's Deer Bay as we enter Deer Bay. So we went from Newton Ground, St. Paul's, Deer Bay. But as we enter Deer Bay here, and you know something, it's funny when I'm live, so many things come to mind that I want to end this video, but I remember a young lady complaining in this village to me about something. So since I'm already in Deer Bay, I'm going to show you guys a little thing that the young lady said to me. And who want to get upset with me, broadcasting is fine. I'm not now just a regular citizen. I am known what you call a journalist, and I think I have a right to bring the news to the people. So, there's a young lady that has a supermarket here in Deer Bay. I think it was the only supermarket in Deer Bay at the time when she opened. But I'm going to show you all what happened since then. So this is a local. What's happening? It's a local. And the Labour administration gave the Chinese a business license right next to her to open a mini-mart. She can't stand up to that competition. Yeah. The only grocery that was in the village that was trying to sustain itself, the people in the village. The government went and gave a business license to the Chinese and giving her some blows. She might have to close soon. This is what we are dealing with here in the area of constituency 6, where Dr. Douglas is supposed to be taken care of. That's why he campaigned and taken care of. The people continue to struggle. They continue to get the blows, but they continue to defend them still anyway. So guess what? If they want to continue to get their ass bust by Dr. Douglas, let it be. The teacher not worried about that, but I'm going to bring the information to the people. We are now heading into passing ground. Now look at this area. This is the health center that's been closed for years. Nothing been done about it. If you need medical care, you got to go to either Sandy Point, Molineux, or Bastia. Yeah. That is the way it is. Yes, my good people, that is where it is. So, we're in passing ground. One of those churches, those sideway church, you know what they call them. You know what you all call them, right? Jehovah wickedness. Yeah, and that's our Mount Misery up there. A lot of lands up there that can be used for food product sustainability and stuff, not being used in the right way. All they talk is sustainability, but they're not doing nothing to sustain the people of the country. But you got some of these here, sit down outside in the shop, hoping and praying that somebody come and buy a drink. They're struggling. But if you have to talk to them about the wrongs that is going on with the government, they defend the government. They're struggling and they're begging you for $1. They're begging you for support. But the people that have control of the money and doing their stuff, they defend them. So, we are currently in the village of Passing Ground, and I'm going to end the live here because the DJ have to go to our next project. So my good people, let me strictly come around. So the DJ is here, and the DJ is saying to you, thanks for hanging with me for the last, half an hour, couple of minutes, hour. And I'll continue to bring you the news and the information, my good people. So until such time, have a pleasant rest of your weekend.